Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, Stacey and I are going to get into the power of P-Valley, Season 1, Episode 4. We're halfway through this 8-episode season, and a lot of things were revealed in this episode. I felt with some characters, this could have been a season finale. A lot of them had some big endings. It's going to be hard to see what they do to wrap up this season. But as always, we're going to start with Autumn Night / Haley, is her real name, apparently. Now I know why she smiled so mischievously at the end of last episode when she got the $9,000. She has figured out how to use someone's identity to do wire fraud. And it seems like every day she's racking up $9,000, no more, because $10,000 brings the feds and they come looking into that stuff. And she knows that, or she watched The Sopranos. Like I saw that in The Sopranos. So either way, she's pulling money. She's using wigs and other tools to hide her identity. And she's racking up this money. She now has at least, Stacey and I say, definitely 30, probably around maybe $45,000 in the bank. And she's how is she literally cleaning the money? I love it. The bathtub. She's cleaning the money by dirtying the money. And I want to say she has now proven herself smarter than Ghost and Tommy, because she proved that the best club to clean money is a strip club.
Hello.
I'm like, and now I know why she smiled at the end of this episode. Now I know why she's still in this strip club, right? She's not a career stripper. She's clearly a clear money person. Like, she definitely knows the money, okay? And she probably stole a lot of money from somebody. But now I know. She's like, I need the club, because with the club comes the explanation on why I'm coming in with bags of cash. And I'm like, I get it. And this is the first time I've seen something like that. So I'm saying this is pretty impressive, for a money laundering scheme. When she started pouring the alcohol into the thing, I'm thinking, all right, she's trying to stop self-medicating. She wants to get clean. She's like, no, I got to dirty up this money. And I was like, that's why you smart, girl. That's why you smart. Is this her first time? That's the question, because she's looking like she know what she's doing.
No, it's not her first time.
So it's probably not her first time, right? So it'll be interesting to see when we get into that. The only problem I have with her plan is that she wants these bank tellers to believe that the bank, which is currently in debt, has a dancer, not Mercedes, mind you, a new dancer dropping $9,000 on an average day with $100 bills. I'm like, that's where the story falls apart, because she is. Because this club, people bring in stacks of ones. Let's just start there. Like, and they drop that like money. But if this one dancer has an account of 30 grand, that club has to be rolling in money. And that's not the case.
Well, it's just her being light-skinned. And all the money. The light skin attracts the money.
We're gonna get into being color struck when we talk about Mississippi, because there's something to this. And that was my only thing. I love the idea. I was like, that's a great way, but I was like, I think in real life somebody will be asking questions, about her, about the bank, like how much money the bank is really bringing in. If this one new dancer is making that kind of money. The bank teller implied that her husband is also spending quite a few $1 bills at this club. Mm-hmm. I would have loved if her husband would have been the guy that Mercedes stole his wallet from in episode 1. If you would have saw her, right? If you would have saw her at that revival that her mama was running, Patrice was running, and you would have saw that bank teller and that same man in the pews, I would have been like, there you go.
Yeah.
That would have tied it together, I thought.
Yeah, she's pushing it with that amount. Plus, they're gonna start thinking like, okay, what else is she doing? Is she just dancing? Is she doing a little extra? Is drugs involved? It raises too many questions.
Yes, she should have multiple bank accounts.
Exactly.
She should have multiple bank accounts. And being a professional money launderer that she is, apparently, she should know that too. that one bank account making that many transactions is going to raise somebody's attention locally and maybe federally, depending on how fast that money is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And long term, she has to file a W-2. Even strippers have to file W-2s at the end of the year. And they can claim a lot of stuff, but they still have to file. If they're legit business, they do have to file. And with that, fun fact, everything that you do for your body is tax deductible because it's all part of your business. Your clothes, your hair, your nails, or So we help y'all out. Knowledge. I want to see her say that to some of her girls. I would love to see her drop some financial knowledge on some of her fellow dancers.
Too self-centered.
So let's talk about her lack of trust and who she trusts and who she doesn't. I thought it was interesting that as we talked about last week, she found a picture of Andre on her picture of herself on Andre's computer. Excuse me. And she was so shocked that she had to run out and leave the photo on the computer.
Right.
As I said, I was like, she's just upset that he has the photo. And I'm like, that makes no sense. But then in this episode, as once, Uncle Clifford, puts in perspective that you were just many people that he had a photo of, her face changed.
Right. I didn't understand that.
So first I was like, is she upset now that he actually wasn't following her? Or it's like, he's like, your pussy ain't that good. And she was like, I'd beg to differ, sir. Or is it the issue of I messed up a good man relationship? And now I need to go mend it. That's why the next scene was her trying to get him back and say she was sorry.
I think it was because she's very self-centered. It's like everything's about her. So when she saw the picture, she was thinking like, but now when it's like, okay, well, there were other people there too. It's like, oh,
not that special.
Right. So she has a tendency to make things about her. So when it wasn't necessarily about her, she's like, oh, okay.
So speaking about making things about her, so now that we're halfway through this season, we know a little more about her than we did in the first episode. Like they're definitely spending a lot more time on her than other characters. Gidget, for example, Mississippi, for example. But for her background, we know she's still haunted about her daughter being killed in the flood. We get that. We get that through flashbacks. She's revealed that kind of stuff to Andre. We haven't seen again the man that was abusing her in episode 1. The flashback of him pulling the gun on her. Nothing has triggered those memories. And I wonder why. Like anything with water or liquid of any sort, for some reason, like triggers the flood memories, triggers her daughter's memories. And I get that. But she's been with Andre a few times in physical, moments that hasn't brought up feelings of a man hurting her or, putting a gun to her head. Like, why is that not triggering something? I don't know. Like, why is she so willing to trust Andre, considering the kind of man relationship she had in Houston not too long ago? But she's made no effort to open up to any of the women, particularly Gidget, and I would say Mississippi. Like, Gidget was all like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you need a ride?" I understand her and Mercedes have a bad relationship. I get that, like a competitive relationship. But Gidget is trying to be her friend, teaching her how to dance. You know what I'm saying? Gidget's always open with people. Mississippi is open to her, like, so I don't understand why she's shutting all them down, and she's so willing to open up to Andre, who she knows is a lying, cheating husband. But she's like, I had a baby, he died, let's hang out, this is my real name. Like, as soon as she met him, she was like, my name is Haley. Like, I don't.
Yeah, she seems a little thirsty.
There's something
for Andre.
For Andre, like, what is like? I don't get that. And finally, with that, how does she say his wife is lucky to have him, as she's about to cheat with this man? Like, I don't even understand the thought process behind that.
I think she has some background issues with men, physical violence, things of that nature. So if he's not beating her, then he's a good man.
Maybe. And then and Stacey and I discussed this off camera real quick. Maybe we assume, or they want us to assume, that the man who was hurting her in the flashback was a lover or the baby's father, when maybe he was a business partner. Like maybe he's the one that she stole all that money from, because she certainly stole somebody's money and a whole bunch of it. And maybe that's what he was looking for. Maybe he was there to say, "Where's the money?" For example. I don't remember flashbacks of like them, like her taking her daughter to the park with him there. Like I don't remember any happy couple family memories.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know about that, but ultimately, Stacey and I believe that before this season is over, if not this series is over, she will be arrested for wire fraud because she's doing it too much. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how the season's gonna go down. Because this Lakeisha Savage's identity is going to be discovered when her body's discovered, probably. They're going to want to know how she's pulling $9,000 a day in Mississippi.
Yeah. So the guy will show up in the season finale and she'll go to jail.
Yeah. While she's performing. Like she learned how to do some twirls and stuff. And when she comes down, there's some guys down there with handcuffs. They want to see the show before they arrest her, because why not? You got time. So speaking of being arrested, let's move on to Mercedes.
Mercedes. I would like to give a shout out to wardrobe. That outfit was absolutely awesome.
Her last dance performance outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I got like flashbacks of Spartacus. You know how when the gladiators go out and they oil them up and suit them up with their armor.
Okay.
Hey, she about to go to war.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
All right. I did like if this was her last dance, which we discussed last week was absolutely not going to be her last dance. Something like most like Ghost. It was a Ghost moment. It was like Ghost season 3, where he's like, "We got it, baby. We got the club." And Angie's like, "You under arrest." He's like, "Oh shit, how did I get here?" I was like, "Oh shit, man, I should have left this woman alone." But anyway, that's another video for another show. But anyway, Mercedes, she spent the whole episode saying goodbye to Uncle Clifford, saying goodbye to her friends. She was in the process, her friends were mad at her for knowing about the club going under, but not telling them. But even after all that, Gidget, Mississippi, the girls, they all got together and they paid tribute to her. I mean, they did their locker, they dressed her like she was a queen. I mean, it was like, it was really touching. And this really was her last dance. It was really touching.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But my issue with this whole situation is the whole discussion about stacking your money, right? Mm-hmm. She said she's been stacking her money for 7 years. And $20,000 is all she has to show for it. The $20,000 that she gave her mom, that's all she got? After 7 years of stacking?
Yes. I mean, after, so as we learned last week, she has a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to believe at some level she's paying some type of child support. I want to say that, she had to have a car, she got a lights, water, gas, what I'm saying? She got things to do. So her savings, I'm like, I want to say that's the best she could do with how she was working it. I mean, with all the other stuff she's probably taken care of. And it's interesting to this conversation, it's interesting that as she's, lecturing her fellow dancers on putting your money away, that mm-hmm. Mississippi's response is, all you gotta do is take care of a dog. No, she has a daughter. Like, do you not know that? I mean, what I'm saying? Does she not pay some kind of child support?
I don't know.
So, I mean, I didn't think about it till right now. Like, how is it they don't go, I mean, you got kid. I got a kid. You got 2 kids. I'm saying you need to learn how to work your money. But as Autumn pointed out, you're going to look pretty bad climbing back through that window when things get bad and you have to come back to the club.
Yeah, you should never burn your bridges.
Yeah. She was a little bit too cocky about, you should have had your shit together. You should be more like me. And ironic. So that's irony number 1. Telling your friends you need to keep your stacks together. You need to be like me. Number 2 irony is she told Gidget, talk to your mama. She threw her mama in her face when in the end, it was Mercedes' mama that fucked her over and is going to bring her back to the club.
Yep. And I totally saw that coming.
Yeah.
Not the way she did it, but I knew she wasn't gonna give that money back.
So I gotta say, Patrice, her performance at church really took me back. Like that's some serious Pentecostal Church of God in Christ level, like Sunday service. Like I felt that. Like that's what I grew up with.
Get the anointing on you.
Get the anointing. I saw like nobody speaking in tongues though. That was what I was waiting for. I was waiting for somebody to get the spirit, start running around the church, bump into a wall, but don't get hurt. Like that's important. Somehow that was in the Pentecost, in the New Testament. But I was waiting for that. But I thought she gave a great performance. Yeah, right. And then even despite the fact that she's a horrible mother, let's put that aside for a moment. She's still dealing with her own struggles, her own, misogyny that she has to deal with, her own, like, why can't I be equal to you? And her pastor's like, nope, this is a man's church. We do man stuff over here. And her motivation is, fair of like, I'm a woman. I can still be, a leader. I should start my own church. Obviously, the way that not only did she take her daughter's money, she took the spot too.
Yep.
Notice she stepped on a picture of her daughter's flyer. When she got out the car, that's why I thought she was at the club, because when she got out of the car, there was a flyer on the ground that says Mercedes last night, and she stepped on it, and she was walking, which later we find out she's actually at the storefront. But I was like, oh shit, like she stepped on her daughter's dream. Like I was like,
Yeah, she's a pretty bad mom. So
that
ass whipping was well deserved.
Oh man, it was beautiful. I was like, that was season finale right there. Like that, I'm like, it's gonna be hard.
Yes.
That ass whooping, her being arrested, you're like, what's gonna happen to her? What's next, right? Is she gonna be in jail for a while? Is the Mayor Ruffin gonna use this fight in some crazy way to take the club down? You know what I'm saying? Even though it wasn't at the club, I mean, is he somehow gonna say, they're a public nuisance because they're strippers and da. Is that gonna be a thing? How does her mom start a church? How does the pastor start a church in a fight that you just got arrested for with your daughter because you paid for the church with stripper money? Like, I'm assuming her former pastor is going to crap on her when he has to deal with the competition, of Sister Patrice up there trying to preach about the word when this church was built on sin, as he probably will say.
One thing is, did she have to get her own church? She couldn't just go to another church that was more accepting of women?
They make you seem like this very small Mississippi city, a Chucalissa, has one strip club, one church, a whole bunch of empty,
One real estate agent.
One real estate agent, one bank, or at least one real bank, okay, and a whole bunch of check cashing places somehow. I don't even get that. But I'm like, yeah, this is the smallest city I've ever seen. That there's no competition of churches. I'm going across the street to Pastor so-and-so who's been wanting me to speak at his church for years or something.
Exactly.
She's like, nope.
A whole church, build a whole new congregation, do all that. Why?
Her sermon wasn't that good. I mean, it wasn't that good that you can start a whole church off of it. I mean, that's a lot. You need a following. You need to be like every Sunday, as her daughter has Mercedes Sundays, Patrice has Patrice Sundays. Like that's something. Like after a while, you like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm starting my own church. Why don't you get on? Like that's something. But like you can't have one good performance and all of a sudden you think this congregation is just gonna be church hopping, as my mom would say.
Some homeless guy give you a quarter because you sounded good singing.
Or was it Jesus? Like that's her
angel. Didn't you see the thing on her eyelash?
That's why she was like, Jesus came to me as a homeless man and put a feather on my eyelash, and that means I need to steal money from my dog. She was already there to steal the money. Let's start there, right? Like, was she already there to take the money, or did she change her mind once she got the money and she saw her angel?
She was going to keep the money
regardless. Way.
But the idea of the church came when that whole thing happened.
All right.
That way she can justify keeping the money.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, that's pretty painful. Um, Mercedes, I like the idea that she Maine came to see her for her last night. I thought that was very nice. He's like, he committed a crime, but he's like, I'm gonna be here for you, baby. Um, I guess because
Thug
the one,
love.
huh?
It's thug love.
His thug love. Like, are
Hmm.
they dating? She gave up that necklace, that coach's necklace, to the to Big L. I think that's his name.
Hmm.
Um, is like, I guess she's like, that's a fantasy. I was like, she was like, I can't keep it because it's not real. Like, this is not a relationship. Like, like we do money here, we don't do gifts.
I think she totally wants to distance herself from the men in the club. Like money you can use, gifts. I don't need to remind myself of you. I don't need any reminders of who you are. I don't care about you. You are a customer. You are a walking wallet.
That's catchy. I like
Mhm.
that. Yeah. All right. All right. So we got to see what and she, she was like, she was the center of the club. Uncle Clifford's, or no, her, like, her going saying goodbye to Uncle Clifford was very emotional. She makes it seem like she's leaving the state, like she's just getting a new job. She can come visit. She can come visit. She can hang out. She's not dying. She's not moving away. I mean, it was beautiful, but I'm like, you're gonna be there next week, girl. Even if your studio opened, you will still be around. People will still see you down the street. You can still come hang out. Calm down. And every once in a while, when money gets low, she probably can still go back and perform.
And that's my thing. Why? I mean, I get 7 years is a long time to be stripping, but you couldn't transition. Like, okay, I'm gonna get my studio set up and running, still dancing, but over here, get this up and running until I get to a point where my studio is replacing my dancer money. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm just gonna completely quit this and start this.
In many ways, she and her mom have the same mentality. Both of them were like, I'm stopping what I've been doing for years, and tomorrow I'm gonna have a whole new thing on my own. And I'm like, no, that's not how that really works. Again, that town is broke as fuck. Right? I'm saying, so I truly doubt they got the people that she
Yeah,
has.
I didn't really get her subscription model.
Yeah,
Like you got these little girls and they're gonna pay how much a month just to come dance?
when they've been doing it for free. Like, no,
This
that's
is
that's
Beverly Hills with the little dance teams. And like you you're dealing with little hood girls that their parents ain't got money. Are they gonna pay $200-300 a month to sit
absolutely,
somewhere for a few days a week?
absolutely not. Not from getting something they were getting for free to compete with the local high schools, I guess, or the local dance teams. This is not even statewide competition. Like, I don't know. That's not a good business model. That she's gonna drop what she's been doing for so many years by herself. That's a lot. Also, I want to bring up ages. So as we did the math, if she's 25 and her daughter's 13, she had her baby at 12. And I'm like, that's something to get into. Like, that's a whole backstory of trauma, of like, of trying of like hardship that really should be explored. Um, so that's just very interesting. With that kind of storyline. Yeah, this is hard though. But then her mom should have known about her daughter. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, at that age, she had to be there to help her raise that girl for a little while. I mean, and who's this Cortez that she had the baby with? How old was he? Was he 12 or 13? And he's already dead. So I'm like, how long has they been together? And then Tarika, if you listen, when Mercedes called Tarika's phone, the message was her sister-in-law who said, Tarika can't come to the phone. And she said, Ma, you're doing too much. But she called her mom, right? They've been together long enough that she's like, this is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they get into that. What kind of relationship does she have with her daughter? How often does she see her? That sort of thing. As we go on. But let's talk about Mississippi, a very interesting character who apparently has easily taken Mercedes' spot. It seems like she was a very big hit in her debut as featured dancer of the Pank. Gave an awesome performance. I'm sure that wasn't actually the actors doing all that stuff up there, but clearly that was a double. But she did. Whoever did that was amazing. I was like, that's a performance right there. That's a professional. And then all the cameras were on her, and I'm like, and who is Mississippi? Who is she? Like, so so Keyshawn is her name, is her real name. So I was like, or Kayshawn, I think that's how Mercedes pronounced it. But that's her real name. So far in 4 episodes, we haven't seen her outside the club. Like really, like they went to breakfast once, but you haven't seen a 2-time mother, girlfriend, abusive spouse or whatever outside this club. Like she has a very interesting and complex story that we don't know really anything about, and we're halfway through this season.
Well, like she said, she's just a pretty girl. She doesn't have anything else to offer. So what? I mean, she's a mother, so there's that. But
that's
it doesn't feel like she has a whole lot to offer. So what is it? What else are we going to find out about her? Who's something else? There has to be some more depth there.
But who's this man? How long has she been with this dude? Why is she still with this dude? Mercedes stood up with her when Freckles, was trying to, like shame her at the club, and I was like, that made no sense. That made no sense.
You're in a strip club complaining about strippers.
But then they want you to know how well she performed. At the end of the episode, he was out there freely giving his money. I guess that's progress. But that got here though. Like she was like, I have a problem with this. Like Mercedes stood up for her. My point is Mercedes stood up for her with him. Obviously, Diamond came to the rescue as he always does. So clearly, they're going to be something. I hope there's something. But I'm like, if Mercedes is willing to step up and try to help her with that, why hasn't she or Gidget been like, why are you still with this abusive man? You can come live with me. You can help get out of this. What is her life when she wakes up in the morning? Like, why she only bring one of her children there, which is not all the time. So like, but like she brings one of her kids there. Where's the other kid? Is her man mad that she dances? Is that what it is? Is he mad? Is she the only one working? I mean, there's so many things they could get into. Why does she feel that all she has is her face and her looks and her dancing? Like, that's something.
I mean, some women grow up like that. They don't really have, like, they weren't good in school. They didn't have anybody telling them, hey, you're good at this, you're good at that, you can do this, you can do that. And then you're in a small town with limited options, apparently, because there's only one of everything in the town. So it's like, okay, what can I do? I'm uneducated. I'm not that smart. I'm just pretty.
But we are assuming these things. Like I mean, she says all she has is her looks. I mean, she said that, but again, we don't know like if she graduated high school. We don't. I mean, and we don't know that kind of stuff. They could. I hope they do. I hope they get more into her story to say she's more than just the stereotype of I'm a dancer who can't do anything else. I got to take care of my kids. I'm being abused. Like that. I'm sure there's the opportunity there to explore her story. And then skin tone, colorism is a thing. So earlier, Uncle Clifford said Mississippi was color struck. And this episode, I saw her kid. Like, I think they made a point of showing you that very light-skinned baby.
They showed him before.
But I'm like, this is my first time noticing. I'm just like, that's a very light-skinned baby. And I'm like, is this going to be a story? Like, is this going to be something? Like, is the fatherhood going to be questioned? You know what I'm saying? Or is that part of the story somehow? Got to round out the dancers. Once again, Gidget is getting the short end of the stick in this 4-episode arc. They made no effort really to develop her, besides the fact that we know her mom was a stripper. Again, Mercedes, threw that in her face. She's an open-hearted person. She's trying to teach Autumn how to dance. She really doesn't. That was funny. What's wrong?
Autumn is so full of herself, but she can't dance. So you just a new girl who's light skinned, so they feel like, okay, well, we're gonna put our money out there. But at some point you're no longer gonna be the new girl. And at some point there's gonna be some other little light skinned girl. Then where are you? You can't even dance.
I see your point. And we gotta see where this is going. But I'm saying, but Gidget, even with that, she's trying to be like, hey, we're all here together, you know what I'm saying? And obviously her mom is her pain, but we haven't even named her mom, seen her mom. Are we gonna get into that? What about those drugs that she got from her boyfriend, last week? Is that kind of a thing? Gidget needs some more screen time and some substantial non-stripper, screen time. So we see, who she is outside the club would be nice. We get it. She's a dancer. But there's more to her, I hope. Love stories. Let's talk about love stories. Woo. Okay. So Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder have consummated their relationship. Let's just say that. Let's say that.
Did they do something before?
No. See, it was implied. I think maybe Uncle Clifford kissed it a little bit or whatever. But I mean, they didn't go all the way.
Uh-huh.
As you saw in graphic detail in this episode. And so okay. So what why was Little Murder's friend so angry? It's two things. Like, he brought up, like, I heard you're a punk for everyone, right? My first instinct was people found out that he's gay or bisexual or whatever. But then my second thought was like, that's his partner. Like, maybe he's upset because he's like, I'm hearing that you're giving it to somebody else. Like, then I was thinking, well, maybe they're together and he didn't like the idea of like him sleeping with, interested in somebody else, interested in Uncle Clifford. I thought.
Could be.
Because if it was, oh my God, you gay, like, I think his boys would have been like, oh, I can't believe that. But Lil Murder says that's why everybody calls me Lil Murder or something. So I didn't, I was like, I hope they get into that. I want to explore why they, he had to beat up his friend at the club. Again, a great opportunity for the mayor to shut the club down, as a public nuisance, because you haven't seen the sheriff since episode 1, when Uncle Clifford bribed him. So it'd be interesting to see where they go with that. And again, are they going to be a couple, or it's almost, I thought it was like Purple Rain for a minute. Like, he wrote his song and he heard his song playing and he started crying and shit. And I was like, oh, this is Purple Rain, but different. I was like, all right, he's having his moment. And I was like, it's beautiful. Hey, you write love songs to who you care about and you get it played in her club, celebrate. Anyway, we'll see if that song goes platinum or whatever. I don't know what that means. So anyway, okay, then we got that, and then we can get into Mayor Ruffin and his efforts to take down the Pank so they can move forward with this land deal. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Andre seems to be on board to an extent. Do you think his relationship with Autumn is impacting Andre's ability to close this deal?
Yes.
All right. He don't want his new mistress, unemployed.
Men do weird things over vagina.
All right. I mean, that's fair. I give you that. But Uncle, I like Mayor Ruffin. Like, he is definitely like a political thug. Like, it's just very interesting. Isaiah Washington is doing a great job playing this character. Because it was really impressive. He's committed to this. But he's like, I'm trying to establish my legacy. I'm trying to clean up this town, which only has one of everything. Why doesn't let's say the land has to go. Let's say plan A is that they're taking the Pink. Just make another strip club. Like,
that's what I don't get. Why is everything just one thing? You got one studio / church. Like, there's no other available buildings. There's no other available workplaces. There's no other banks. There's no other anything. And it's like,
why?
And a casino is coming to this town. So obviously there's something there where they can justify building this casino. There's going to be customers, right?
Mm.
Like you wouldn't put a big thing in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't know.
So maybe because the land is cheap, because the town, they're on the poor side of town. They like where the Pank is does not represent obviously the most of the town, right? Like you still got the rich side of town, where Mercedes lives, her daughter lives, and that sort of thing. So there is an upper crust part of town which they really haven't got into to show us that part of town. So it's almost like they're trying to rip out the lower income part of the town and put a casino in it. But they can easily find another spot, set up another club near the casino, and the Paint can just be reborn, and they can get even more customers and dancers and stuff like that. Like this could be an opportunity.
But then Uncle Clifford said something about that property has been in his family for generations.
And this is where Loretta Devine is going to come in. Like I think once he gets into that, I think they laid that in the dialogue, so Loretta Devine can come in to be the former owner that gave it to Uncle Clifford, and I think that's how she will be introduced at some point. But I remember when he said that, I was like, yeah, Loretta Devine has to come in and see what she can do, to maybe get Mayor Ruffin under control. Because he's definitely coming for the organization, and he's obviously got more leverage. I mean, as the mayor, he he can write ordinances that will make it hard for the club to continue to operate, or just shut it down. He'd just be like it's a health hazard. There could be some other issues, and then when they said people were buying up property, I thought they meant the casino people. Like the casino were buying up like all the little businesses in the area so they can clean them out. I didn't think the lady was talking about Patrice.
Right.
that was a surprise.
Yeah. That she purposely went there knowing that her daughter was wanting that property.
Trifling. She ripped that hat. She ripped that hat and that wig off though. She's like, oh well, we fighting tonight. It really shouldn't have took that long. She was fighting an old woman. It should have been pretty easy. She wasn't dressed for a fight. That could have been it. But neither one of them really was dressed for a fight. One was dressed for service, the other one was dressed to perform. But sometimes you got to fight in what you got. You can't really dress for the occasion. But yeah, so I thought overall, again, great episode. I thought season finale material for Mercedes, Mississippi to a point, like because again, it looks like she's ascended to that like top spot. So it'd have been interesting to see where she goes with that. Autumn Night's story is still developing. We just know she's rolling in money, but we still don't know her long-term goal with all the money that she's stacking, as they say, and how she's going to avoid the authorities, because that's probably going to be a thing. Yeah. Yep. What else? That's it. What do you think? Since the show was renewed for season 2, if this was the season finale, would you be interested in watching season 2?
I watch, yeah.
All right.
I want to see what's going to happen to Mercedes.
Yes. How long would she stay in? Who's going to bail her out? That would be interesting. And how they gonna end? Like it's gonna be hard to top this as it relates to her storyline. I think for her, it would be everybody else is easy to kind of one up it, but I think for her, I think it's gonna be difficult. Maybe this is their opportunity to focus on other characters. Like maybe Mercedes is in in jail for a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking that they're gonna keep her in jail and then focus on the other people, and then she'll pop back up in the season finale for something.
Yeah,
like she's getting out and Autumn is coming in and she's leaving.
Yeah, all right. So like, as I said before the show started, I just assumed it'd be Autumn taking the top spot, but that's not her long-term plan. Like she ain't trying to be the top stripper. She's just there to clean her money, which is another thing. Again, if we now believe that her long-term plan is she needs a front to clean her money, why is she stressing so much about fucking with Mercedes? Like, hey, I'm gonna take your spot. I'm gonna be the top dancer.
She's arrogant for no reason. I don't get it.
It's like you don't need to do that. Like you got money.
Do your thing. Leave.
Just leave. When you get to sit around the club, get a couple of dances, let Andre come in and spend his wife's money on you. Let's see how that works out. You know, and like, and just leave. But she act like, no, I gotta be top dancer, I gotta be on the pole. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Be like something doll. I think Baby Doll, the one, you know, who has gas, the one who said she couldn't, you know, dance because her name is Baby Doll, I do believe. But she, you know, she has intestinal issues with the wings.
Probiotics.
So work that out, girl. There's a lot of yogurts in out there that can help you. Because you can't be, you know, dancing and, you know, farting in customers' faces. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. Not a good look. But anyway, guys, all right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We will see you again for episode 5. And again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on the video, and share the video. What other shows do you want us to review? I do believe this will be the show that will lay the foundation for, or will take, and so Power Season 2 should be immediately after this show airs in September. And we will do a video on the Power casting. We got some new news reports that we'll be talking about soon. So you'll see Stacey and I again for other videos. And thank you very much for your time. We'll see you again.